Hey, I'm David with Great Choice Audio and Video. Hey, I'm super excited today because we're at the job site. It's day one of a several-day project, and this particular project, we're doing a custom dedicated theater. The theater room, we're using dARTS, and we'll show you guys a little bit about what dARTS is all about. And then we're doing ELAN to control the whole house. So we have TVs in other rooms, we have speakers in other rooms, and all sorts of really cool stuff. So let me begin in the theater room. So in here, here's the side surround. So what's cool about dARTS, and I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but what's cool about dARTS is you design the system with the dART team, with their engineers, and you know exactly where your speakers are going to go, how far apart they are, and they're very precise. So at their facility, they actually calibrate all the speakers to match them. So when they ship them to us, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it actually tells us exactly what speaker gets what input. And each speaker, here's a big difference, is each speaker has two outputs. So for instance, here is one of the side surround speakers. So you have your woofer and you have your tweeters. Well, on the back, there's a Phoenix connector, and it actually has labels on there. Input number 9, input number 10. So in the rack, we have a 4,000 watt amplifier. So it's a 16 channel amp. So 250 watts going to each channel. And so that means the driver, the woofer, is getting its own 250 watts. And then the tweeters are getting its own 250 watts. So this is why this setup is quite a bit different than your typical, set of speakers that you do in a theater room. So this is going to give it, reference levels. It's going to make it sound great at high volumes, and just a really great performing speaker. So we did 2 sets of surrounds because we have, I don't know if you can see, we have carpet coming. So we're going to have a set on this row, a set on that row. I don't know if you can see the ceiling, but it's going to be really, really nice when it's done. So there's going to be LED strip lighting on the top that we're going to control as well with the control system. And so they wanted nothing on the ceiling. So we did all surround speakers on the sides, which is better anyway because you want those at ear level. So if you look over here, here's one of the front left speakers. So this cabinet is unfinished. It's got a few things left to do on it, but we're having grill cloth, black grill cloth, put in all these openings of the doors. So we're going to have a left speaker, a subwoofer. That's what's in these big old boxes here. They'll actually lay sideways on some rubber mat, and then we'll have a center channel, another sub, and then the right speaker. And so the left and the right speaker looks just like this. And same thing is that you have your bass drivers, and then you have your tweeter, and on the back you have 2 sets. And again, these are labeled something different: input 1, input 2. So you know exactly where each line from the speaker is being hooked up to the amplifier on the rack. Now the speaker that's different than all of them is the center channel. I don't have it out of the box just yet, but it actually has 3. So instead of having 2 sets of connections, it's going to have 3 in the back of that speaker. So pretty slick. Can't wait to get all this going. Let's come over here real fast, show you guys. We're using ELAN to control it, and we have a lot of cool pieces going in, around the house. We have some ELAN 8-inch touch panels, super cool. These are voice activated, integrated Alexa, facial recognition, all that cool stuff. We have an ELAN remote that'll be dedicated for this theater here. We have some of the new ELAN cameras. These are all the new 4 megapixel cameras. What's nice about these is all kinds of analytics. So camera can automatically distinguish between a car and a person. And so inside of the NVR, we can actually do events based upon those things between motion, car, and people. So pretty slick. We have a subwoofer. This one's not going in the theater room. It's going to go in the living room. This is a down-firing sub, and we'll go in the living room. I'll show you guys where that's going to go because they didn't want to see a sub sitting out. So what they did is they had a cabinet built with an opening at the bottom, and it's a floating cabinet very similar to this one, and it'll actually fire down below the cabinet. Pretty slick. So if you saw our video the other day, another James speaker. These are James, the 43 OWs. Like I said, they were in a video we did the other day. And these are going to be on-wall speakers, and these were custom color matched to match the walls, so they blend into the walls. They wanted something slick, sounded good, but didn't really stand out. So these would go between the shelves in the living room. And like I said, we sent them the color code to match the wall, so that should be pretty nice. Let's see what else we got going on here. Access control. We're using all access network access points throughout the house. Got a lot of stuff out. So again, this is day one, and Ronnie's been working hard on this rack. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's laid down because it's a lot easier to lay everything out. When we do a rack design, there's really a lot that goes in it. We want to make sure everything is spaced just right. We wanted to vent, all the hot air out of the rack so nothing overheats. So we have, a multi-channel amplifier. Here's that Odyssey 4,000 watt amplifier from Phase Tech. Here's the Marantz preamp to that amplifier. And you see there's a space between each one, so hot air will escape. And then we have the Lawn controller, the Lawn NVR, and we have a fan kit at the top. And then we'll have some different parts that go in the middle, your music streamers and all that sort of thing. So, of course, we got network stuff going in there, which we don't have in there just yet. Of course, we have Ubiquity, big old 24-port switch, PoE, so we can also power the touch panels that's going over there. So as you walk this way, this is where the nice rack that Ronnie has put together is going. As you can see, there's a lot of wires, a lot of wires. So, we've already started coming back through and labeling them all. Like this are for the theater room, so we got them labeled just like those inputs say, 1 through 16. So each line shows, where they go and where they get plugged into. So when it comes time to actually hooking up the equipment, we know exactly where those are going on the amplifier. So the whole rack will go right side there, and we'll be able to slide it inside and out. And we've got power and plenty of room for it to breathe. So can't wait to get all that hooked up and show you guys what that looks like. So we've got one other area to show you guys. Let's go to the living room real fast. We got a lot of stuff going out in the patio and out there. We just had a whole bunch of rain. So we're going to be doing some audio out there around there's going to be a pergola and an outdoor fire pit. And then we got a shop over there. So we've got some stuff going there here in the near future. But on the patio, there's 2 different TVs. So there's a bunch of speakers on the ceiling. We'll just show you guys later, but we got speakers installed already, and then we'll install the TVs over the next day or two. We have a TV, a 75-inch Shawnee. It's going to go inside that nook. Now we're going to use an arm mount, and the reason why is because we want to center it in that space, and we want to make sure that the TV is flush and not just pushed all the way into that cavity. A nice fit and finish. So we originally were going to do a sound bar below, but clients had to go with a much bigger TV, so it didn't allow us any room. So those James speakers are actually going to go right here on the walls. And like I said, we had those matched to the exact wall color, so they should blend in. They're going to go between these 2 shelves. You kind of tuck in, so it should look really nice. And then, last but not least, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this cabinet is built, and they put a hole right here for the driver to fireplace. This is where that subwoofer's going I showed you from inside the theater room. So that's going to be mounted there. Fire through that hole and be able to keep the door closed, and should sound really nice. Hopefully we don't rattle the cabinet too much. So we'll do something to deaden in the space inside there. But it should be a nice fit and finish. You won't see it, you just hear it. It's fire down below. For the kitchen here, we have some speakers in the ceiling. And these are also linked to this living room area. So we have a pair here that will be part of this system, and then we have a pair in the kitchen, and then we got some speakers that are parts of the house. And let me show you a couple other details. Pretty neat. Right here, so we're going to have one of those 8-inch touch panels. So when we install it, we'll be able to access the whole system, the cameras, the NVR. We're going to do lighting control in this house using Lutron. And we're also going to do something really cool using RGB lighting with Philips Hue. So Philips Hue can integrate with ELAN. So the nice thing about that, here in this hallway, you guys can see all these beams, but we're having Phillips Hue strip lighting put on each of those beams. So within ELAN and the touch panels, the control system, we can change the color on any of those, make it all the same, make them all different, but make it green, blue, red, white, whatever. They want to be able to change the colors for different seasons and whatnot. So it should look really, really cool. So it's just day one, guys. Looking forward to getting this project done, and we'll show you guys more as we go along. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like it, and see you guys next time.